Next, we will click on the visit, and you will see the museum information over here, and also more things you can click on, like buy your tickets, calendar, directions and parking, map, guides and apps, accessibility, collection updates, dining, visiting with group, with family, or just visiting Chicago. So one of the things, the hours, they're open daily 10:30 to 5. On Thursdays, they're open until 8. The reason is this is their extended hours for general admission is free to Illinois residents at this time from 5 to 8. Also, I really like that they have a note right here that Grant Wood's American Gothic is currently off view, since a lot of people come to this museum just to see that painting. They also have Major Works temporarily off view, but we will click back to that in a little bit. Over here, admissions and information. One thing I'd like to point out that is new of this year is that teens of Chicago can visit for free now. So if you have somebody from 17 or below in your family and you're from Chicago, you can now get them in free. So I think that's really nice. They also have fast passes and combo tickets for other things around Chicago. Here is museum guidelines. They have, of course, no touching works, but they do have some really neat videos before you go to the museum if you want to look. They have a welcome to the Art Institute and when you arrive. So that briefly discusses parking and how to enter the museum, things that you can do in the museum, and how you can utilize your time for the best. They have a list of things that cannot go into the museum so that you make sure you don't bring any of those things. They do have a check room. Photography is allowed as long as there is no flash or bothering other visitors. You can sketch at the museum. I think this is a great tool if you were to visit the museum with your class. Maybe for older students like high school and middle school, this would be better for discussing pieces of work, sketching them at the museum, and then maybe going back to the classroom and doing a lesson over the piece that they sketched and maybe recreating it from their imagination or doing something with their own interpretation of the sketch that they created. You can use this with elementary students as well, but I think it'd be better for the older students. So we are going to go back up. Obviously, they have a frequently asked questions section. For people that may have a lot of questions, they can go there to find out more about it. The maps, guides, and apps. I have the app. I downloaded it after this class, and it's really, really cool. It has a floor plan of the art gallery. So this is what you would see. Oops, sorry. This is what you would see. It has level 1, level 2, and level 3. And it also shows maybe the different things that you would see, the big things that you would see on that floor or in that area. This is a very large museum, and they say you cannot see it in a day, and you really cannot. I did not get to see everything I wanted to while I was there. They also have this fun thing called Journey Maker that we'll be looking at a little later on. So let's get out of this. Okay, the app. It is really, really cool. If you're planning on going to the Art Institute of Chicago, please download this app. It has really neat audio tours and behind-the-scenes stories, a variety of expert voices, and music that can transport you into the artworks. I've already looked at a couple, and I wish I had this when I had went. It was really, really cool. So if you're planning on going, this is a great app. I wish I could show it to you from my phone right now, but I cannot. So we are going to go to the audio guide. This is available at the museum. You can go and you can grab a pair of headset and for $8, not 8, 7, I'm sorry, and tour the museum, getting to listen to people commentate and speak on the works of art. Okay, now we're going to scroll to major works temporarily off view. I think this is a great thing. They have new on view, gallery closures in case anything is closed, and works off view. This is really important if you are going to a museum and wanting to see a certain type of work. Make sure you look in here and see if your work is off-site. For some galleries regularly lend works of art to other museums around the world. So that is something great before you travel and want to bring your students or just yourself and family to the museum, that your works of art on display you want to see are there. Next, we'll click on exhibitions. They have current exhibitions up, and I'm guessing, okay, they have current exhibitions. They have when they are on and when they leave. So here are some of the exhibitions they have now. And if you go back up, you can see upcoming ones. Maybe you want to plan ahead and you want to see what is going to be on exhibition. And you can look at that, and maybe you can plan accordingly with your students. If you see something that you can plan a lesson plan around, then that'd be great. They also have Pass. If you wanted to browse all the way up to 2000, they have all their exhibitions on here. You can look. They have pictures and different explanations of what was going on then. Now we'll be moving on to collections. This is part of the page where you can explore through themes, different themes. If you are doing maybe portraits or mythology lesson, you can click on these and explore different portraits throughout. Your students can either explore and try to maybe find a portrait they would like to look at or talk about, or maybe even recreate. You can also, as a teacher, maybe download different portrait ideas and upload them to a PowerPoint for the students' viewing, depending on age of the students. Also, you can browse through alphabetical order. If you know a certain piece you're looking for, you can type it in here and do a quick search. I really like this, that you can explore through different cultures and not just themes of work. Maybe you're doing an African unit and you can explore featured works or online works and all that they have to offer from here. You can also, Art Access, they have online images and art history activities and more. They have books and timeline, when in Africa and when in the world. Here's an example of that, if it will load. Oh, it's not loading, but when it does, it is really neat. Also, if you were doing maybe textiles, I live in Paducah, and so it is the Quilt City, USA, and we do a textiles lesson every year over quilts or something with textiles. And I think this is a great thing that I might start using with my kids, so that they can see quilts from all over the world that the museum has to offer. So they can see different patterns and different stories that different artists used throughout this type of work. They also have a conservation section, and it talks about how they conserve the paintings they have there. It's a really neat work. Next, you see the Learn, and you click on it, and you can go through student tours. And here, you actually can look at the docent-led tour, teacher, summer tours, all the different stuff that they have, accommodations for different varieties of people. They also have a model gallery teaching, so you can maybe show this to your older students if you want to teach them what it might be like to be there and talk about different things of art. Another thing is they have a video, an interpretive resource. This video is really, really neat. It's for educators for your museum visit. So I'm just going to play a little snippet of something you could show to your class maybe if you were going, or if you were just talking about museums and wanted to do a lesson on how to walk through a museum and what it's like to be at a museum, especially the Chicago Art Museum.
Okay, let's review the rules we discussed in class last week. Keep an arm's length distance from the art, and don't touch because the oils from our fingers leave permanent marks. Turn off your cell phones. And remember, no gum or food or drinks in the galleries. You may take photographs, but no flash. By following these rules, we help preserve the art for others. Just like the people.
So I think this is a really fun video. I think elementary students would love it, middle school students would love it, and so would high school. So this is just a really neat way, another resource you can use, and that is, I found it in for teachers. You come down here and click on the link. So you can also go for teens. They have workshops, Teen Lab, Teen Council, which we talked about earlier in the blog, and museum internships for students that are in the Chicago area. One thing I really thought was interesting for younger kids, you can even do this with your classroom, is the Journey Maker. So this is a really neat hands-on thing that you can build with your students or with your families and start your journey. So what you can do is you can click it, start. You can put together a route through the museum and print it out and actually take it to the museum with you, or just maybe you wanted to take your kids through the museum virtually this way. So you can begin your journey. You can select really cool themes with your students. Up All Night. So just different things you can do. It has different themes. Up All Night, I selected this piece of work. And now it can go to Grab Your Buds. And you can select another piece of work that it shows. Maybe you want to select a sculpture this time. And you click Add to My Journey. So basically you go through this and it will pick pieces for you, but I think it's really fun and interesting. You can talk about a lot of different artworks this way and add to your journey. You can print this out afterwards and under Print Your Custom Guide, and then you can explore the museum when you're done with it. I think this is a really cool feature for students and teachers of all kinds. Also, the Multimedia Finder has different videos on different things of the website. You can also go back. And this is a really cool feature up here. It has videos, calendar, tickets, and different things. If you click on the videos feature, you will find their YouTube site popped up. And I think this is a great thing for teachers if you wanted to look at things, videos to show your students about different works, exhibitions, people talking. I think it's great. I hope you've enjoyed the Art Incentive of Chicago with me today and learned a little bit more about it.